All right, this is section 8.7, volume of spheres, and our volume formula for spheres is a little bit more complicated than the surface area formula, but it's still very similar. And the formula for the volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. 4/3 pi r cubed. So we're not going to square the radius like we would for surface area. We're going to cube the radius, take it to the third power. Now, this 4/3 that's being multiplied to pi, 4/3 is, if you turn it into a decimal, a repeating decimal. It's actually 1.3 repeating. So what we're going to do is not actually convert that to a decimal. What we can do is we can find out what pi r cubed is first, and then once we know what pi r cubed is, we can times by 4 and then divide by 3. And that will give us the same answer without having to use a decimal that's impossible for us to write in our calculator because there's not enough 3's that you could type in. So again, we're going to find out what pi r squared or pi r cubed is, and then we're going to multiply by 4 and divide by 3, and that'll give us our answer. So let's look at this first example. We can do this one and see how this works. So our formula is 4/3 pi r cubed. So we just need to know what the radius is, which we know it's 4. So 4/3 pi times 4 cubed. Now, if you have a cubed button on your calculator, it would probably look like x to the third power, and it might be a button you have to hit second function for. Some of you might have a button on your calculator that looks like this. Little exponent button there, and what you could do is you could type in 4 to the third power, and that's going to do 4 times 4 times 4, which is 64. So we get 4/3 pi times 64. Now at this point I can go ahead and multiply everything out. It does ask me to round to the nearest tenth, so keep that in mind that we'll want to do that. So we can do 64 times 4 divided by 3 times 3.14, or you can do it in any order you want to. 64 times pi first if you want to, times 4 divided by 3, and either way you should get the answer of 267 when I round to the nearest tenth, it's just going to be 9, and that would be centimeters cubed. Let's look at a second example doing this. And again, there's really only one type of sphere. Maybe they give you the radius like they did in the last example. Maybe they give you the diameter like they are in this example. We still want the radius. So we take the radius here, we're going to divide by 2, and we know the radius would be 8. So 4/3 pi times 8 cubed. So 8 to the third power is 512. And then we're going to times that by pi, we're going to times it by 4, and we're going to divide by 3 because it's on the bottom of that fraction. So 512 times 3.14 times 4 divided by 3 is 2,143.57, but that's going to round to 0.6 because I'm rounding to the nearest tenth, and that's going to be feet cubed. So we're going to have problems on our homework where we have to work backwards using this formula and find the radius. Here they're telling us what the volume is in terms of pi, which is important. So I always start by writing down my formula, 4/3 pi r cubed. And then instead of plugging in for the radius, we're going to plug in 288 pi for the volume. And copy everything else down. And then what we can do is you can see both sides have a pi, so we can cross that out. We can divide both sides by pi. And then we have to get rid of this 4/3. So we need to divide both sides by 4/3. But remember that dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal. So dividing by 4/3 is the same as timesing both sides by 3/4, which will help us cancel out the 4/3. So times by 3/4. And then what I'm going to do, since I'm using my calculator, is instead of timesing by 3/4, we could just times by 0.75. And that's, again, the inverse of 4/3. So that's going to work. The reciprocal, I should say. So 288 times 0.75 is 216. And then on your calculator, you have a cube root button. So we know what square root means. Square root looks like this. a cubed root button is going to have a little 3 right there. Some of you may have that button just like it is on your calculator. Some of you may have a button that, or maybe you have to hit the second function, but it has an X right there. Or maybe it has a Y inside the cube root symbol, but there's an X or something up there. So what you may have to do is hit the number 3, because that's what we want to put in there is a 3. Then hit your cube root button and then type in 216, because that's what we want to type in for Y. So again, if you have a calculator that has a symbol that looks like this, then you're going to want to hit 3, hit that symbol, 216, and hit equals. And what we're doing is we're trying to figure out what number times itself again gives you 216. And the cube root, to do on my calculator is the type where you have to hit the 3 first, then hit the cube root button and then hit 216. And that gives you R equals 6. So the cube root of 216 is 6. R equals 6, and then we're going to label this is in inches. And I'm not going to put cubic inches because I'm just talking about the radius. All right, on example B, we have the volume of 36 pi, and we're supposed to find the radius again. So our formula again is V equals 4/3 pi r cubed. And we're going to plug 36 pi in for the volume. And then we're going to solve and get r cubed first by itself by getting rid of the pi and getting rid of the 4/3. Now, because both sides, just like in the last problem, are written in terms of pi, we can divide both sides by pi and just cross that pi out. And then we're going to divide both sides by 4/3. Now remember what we just said, dividing by 4/3 is the same as multiplying by 0.75, because dividing by 4/3 is the inverse of that would be to multiply by 3/4. And so that's why we can get away with doing that. Now, actually, multiplying by 3/4 works out kind of nicely on this number, because the 4 and the 36 would cancel, and you'd get 3 times 9, which is 27. But if you do 36 times 0.75, instead of multiplying by 3/4, you multiply by 0.75, you'll still get that 27. So 27 equals r cubed. And again, we're going to use that cube root button on our calculator. The cube root button will tell us what number times itself again gives us 27, and that number is going to be 3. So the radius of this circle is 3, and because we're talking about meters, our answer is going to be 3 meters. All right, the next problem says the top of the silo is a hemisphere with a radius of 12 feet. What is the volume of the silo? So we've got this silo, which is a cylinder part to it, cylindrical there. And then we've got the top of it, which is a hemisphere. So let's do the cylinder first. We know that the formula is volume equals area of the base times the height for the volume of the cylinder. Now, if the radius of the silo, the top of the silo is 12, then that radius here is also going to be 12. The radius up here is going to be 12, and because the radius on a sphere can touch any point, that actually tells us this distance right here from the center of the circle to the top of the silo is also 12. And we kind of need that because the 52 they give us is not the height of the cylinder part, it's just the height of the entire silo. So if that's 12, we can subtract 52 minus 12, and that's going to give us 40 for the height of just the cylinder part. So we've got area of the base, or pi times 12 squared, times the height, which is 40. And then we're going to add that with the volume of a hemisphere. Now, the volume formula obviously is 4/3 pi r cubed. Now remember, for surface area, when we cut the formula in half, we also had to add an extra circle. We don't have to do that here because we're talking about space. We're not talking about the surfaces. So if I divide this by 2, or take half of it, then 4/3 becomes 2/3. So 2/3 pi r cubed is how I find the surface, or the volume of a hemisphere, 2/3, which is exactly half of 4/3. And since the radius is 12, we'll do 2/3 pi times 12 cubed. And all of this will give me my combined volume for the cylinder part and then for the hemisphere part. So let's go ahead and work this out. 12 squared is 144. And 144 times 40 is 5,760 pi, plus, and then 12 to the third power is 1,728. And just like before, I can multiply by 2/3 by timesing by 2 and dividing by 3. So times 2 divided by 3 gives me 1,152 pi. And we can get rid of this now. Oops, wrong button. There we go, get rid of that. And then we can combine those together, add that with the 5,760 pi, and that gives us 6,912 pi. It does say round to the nearest thousandth, which is 3 decimal places. So when I multiply by pi, I can do that. And I actually don't have 3 decimal places if I use 3.14. If you use the pi button, you will. But the answer is 21,703.68. And since we're talking in feet, this will be feet cubed. And again, that was the area or volume of the cylinder part, and then the volume of the hemisphere part, which is half of a full sphere, so 2/3 pi r cubed. All right, and for these last two problems, we're going to do them very similarly to how we did the silo problem. We just have a combination of shapes here. For example A, we have a cylinder, so area of the base times the height. Plus we have 2 hemispheres, which together the combined space is just going to make a full sphere. So now I can plug in for my radius, which I know is 2, so pi times 2 squared. The height of just the cylinder, again, this is 2, and that's 2. And if the whole thing is 8 minus 2 minus 2, it means the cylinder is actually just 4 for the height. Plus, we have 2 hemispheres making a full sphere, 4/3, pi r, radius is 2 still, cubed. And now we can solve this. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 4 is 16, so this is 16 pi. 2 to the third power is 8, so this is 8. And then we're going to times that by 4 and divide it by 3. So remember, 4/3. To multiply by 4/3, we do 8 times 4 equals, divide by 3 equals, and that's going to give us 10.6 repeating pi. And then I'm going to add that with 16, which gives us 26. So just hit plus 16 to that. So we get 26.6 repeating pi. And now we can multiply what's in our calculator, which is still just a bunch of 6's, times 3.14. And that's going to give us 83.73 repeating. It does say round to the nearest tenth, though, so that would be closer to 0.7 than what it is to 0.8. So 83.7 inches cubed. We can move on to the next one, which is a cylinder and a cone. The cylinder formula, again, is area of the base times the height, which is pi r squared, times the height, which is 9. And then the cone formula, we know from the previous lesson, the cone formula is 1/3 area of the base times the height. So plus, because I'm going to combine these, might scoot this over just a little bit so I got some more room. Okay, so plus 1/3 area of the base, pi times 3 squared, times the cone's height, and the cone's height is 5. So now I can work all this out, do a bunch of simplifying. 3 squared is 9. 9 times 9 is 81. Oops. So this is 81 pi. Plus, again, 3 squared is 9. 1/3 of 9 is 3. So timesing by a third is dividing by 3. And 3 times 5 is 15. So this is 15 pi. 15 plus 81 is 96. pi, and then all together I can multiply by 3.14 and get 301.44. But because I'm rounding to the nearest tenth, that 44 would round to just 301.4, and this is meters cubed. So that is how to multiply not only the volume, or how to solve the volume of a sphere, but then also these complex shapes, combining all the volume formulas you've already learned.